Hello, hi everyone. Can you guys hear me? I suddenly have some problem with the mic. So I think I'm 1 minute late today. So, hello everyone. Hi. Disha, yes, it started. Not, do you see me? Okay, so welcome back to Weekly Korean Live class and my name is Keijin. 안녕하세요, 케이진입니다. And 안녕하세요, 침침입니다. Okay, hello. Oh, you miss 침침 not. 침침 is here. 침침. 따라라란. Yes. Everyone loves 침침. And so do I. 코아티 안녕 and 크리스 안녕하세요. Jewel, it's so kind of you. Thanks so much for your heart. And Paula, hola. And 소헬야 and 강대. 오늘은 침침이와 함께 하루 지내요? 네, we will be with 침침 today. Miss Sammy loves K-pop and Ishita and Pura, you're here again. And Yadira. Okay, Mari, Rabbit, Sandia. Okay, so I'll keep reading your comments, so please keep writing. 안녕하세요, 오시카 and 박지민, Pratisha and Stoa, Lily, awesome, Marie, and on Facebook too. By the way, we are always running the live streaming on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, so choose whatever you prefer. And also, if you want to see all my previous live videos, we have a playlist, of course, on Facebook and of course on YouTube. Or if you click the link in the description, you can find all my previous lessons as well as the lesson note. 안녕하세요, Jeffrey, Vicky, Perry, and Daisy, Chris, Anna. Great, you guys are here again. And 통통로이 안녕하세요. And 아스나미나. 보고 싶어요, 언니. So do I. 한글 햄스터. I know, 침침 is really cute. Rosaline. Okay, Michelle, Jusua. So, what's the topic for today's lesson? It's here. 디귿 irregular Korean verbs. Yes, irregular verbs are very important because it's irregular. That's why even though I teach you lots of grammar or rules, that doesn't apply to this one because irregular is irregular, exception. So it needs a different rule, and today we are going to talk about these irregulars. Actually, there are many irregulars. There are like 7, but we will focus on this 디귿 irregular. 디귿 irregular. We will go over one by one. So let's look at this. But before that, for those of you who joined our live for the first time, I have something to show you. Probably if you are my regular student, you already know what I'm going to talk about, which is, yes, is the tararan. Can I show it to you? Yes! Yes, this is it. So if you click the link in the description, you will see this page. And do you see this blinking button? This is blue button. And if you click it, you can download today's lesson note. And if you're not familiar with the Korean alphabet, Hangul, you can also download this. Everything is free. So if you need some Korean learning materials, please check out the link in the description and just download this lesson note, as well as you can always watch my videos here. Like, these are my previous lives and the live here, and also if you click this kind of button, then you can also download lesson notes, so it will be really helpful. Take advantage of it. Okay. Awesome. So let's go back to our lesson. Villa, Juswan, and Heidi, And Liana, thank you so much for your comment. And oh, Lavia too. Yeah, we have many students from all over the world. So the timing is maybe not good in your country. So that's why we are uploading this live class on YouTube and Facebook even after the live. So please check it out. And Pura, I downloaded lesson note after the class. Awesome. Thank you, 박지미. 가르치다 레슨 시작하자. So teach the lesson. Let's start, right? Wellington and Smitoa. Okay, so what are these 디귿 irregular Korean verbs? Is it important? Do I have to know that? Yes, I chose one of the not one. I chose the most important verb today, so you have to know that. So let me show you this first. How can you use these irregular Korean verbs? 디귿 irregular Korean verbs. It should be very, very, very easy if you keep practicing. So, number one, is it a 디귿 irregular verb? So, there are regular Korean verbs too. 디귿 regular Korean verb. So, you have to know if it's irregular, 디귿 irregular verb or it's just regular. So, what are 디귿 irregular Korean verbs? Here you are. These are the common ones. There are some more, but those are not very common. So remember these 5 verbs. These are irregular. So these are always applied with the irregular exception. So what are these verbs? 걷다. By the way, Erlin, Chimchim is a boy. And Michelle, you're new here. Welcome. So 걷다. 걷다 means to walk. To walk. You walk, right? 걷다. 깨닫다. 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 To realize. Aha! And I just gave you a piece of information. 침침 is a boy. And you realize, oh, 침침 is a boy. Aha! You realize. 깨닫다. 깨닫다. 듣다. 듣다 meaning to listen. 듣다. 듣다 meaning to listen or to hear. 묻다. 묻다. 묻다 means to ask. You ask a question, right? You ask, teacher, I have a question. 침침, are you a boy or a girl? I want to ask. So ask is 묻다. How about this? 씻다, to load. 씻다. 씻다. 씻다, so to load. For example, you load your baggage to the car. Or you have lots of suitcase or you have lots of books and you put them on the truck. So you load something. 씻다, 씻다. So these are the common ones. So you just need to remember the 5 irregular Korean verbs. So if it's one of these verbs, that means you can use this exception, these rules. Is it a 디귿 irregular verb? Can you see this? For example, let's see 걷다. 걷다. Oh, 걷다 meaning to walk. And if you see this, oh, here's 디귿. That's why it's 디귿 irregular verb. Some verb also have 디귿 in the verb stem, but they are not irregular. They are regular. So you have to know if is this irregular or not? Irregular or not? How can you know? If the verb is one of these, then that's irregular. If it's not one of these, then it's regular. Okay, and next thing you have to know is the following conjugation start with a vowel? What does it mean? What does that mean? Okay, so usually you conjugate this verb with some other grammar, right? It was 걷다. So how can you conjugate it usually? Oh, Rabiuta, yes, thank you. You can always watch it later. So how can you conjugate the verb usually? You remove 다 and then conjugate some grammar here, right? You use this verb stem only. You don't use 다. You always remove 다 at the end, right? So you have got. Do you know this conjugation? 으세요. 으세요. 으세요 or 세요. It means please. So if you conjugate it, it's please walk. Please walk. But please remember, do you see this? It's 으세요. 으세요. Oh! The following conjugation start with a vowel, right? Yes, it's sound. Sound. So this conjugation start with vowel sound. So you need to change this 디귿 to real. Real. So it was 디귿, but you change it to real. 걸으세요. We'll practice. So if it's confusing, don't worry. We'll practice many times today. So keep watching it. Disha, you are smart. Miss Sammy loves K-pop. Perfect. Yes, that's it. And Jana, thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much. So please walk is 걸으세요. 걸으세요. I have a question. So now I have this verb. Let's use the same verb to practice. 걷다 meaning to walk. And I want to conjugate with 고 싶다. 고 싶다. Or let's use a spoken form. 고 싶어요. This is spoken form. 고 싶어요. How can I conjugate this? So remove 다 and you are going to conjugate with this. Okay, so is it a 디귿 irregular verb? Yes, it's 걷다. It was one of these verbs, which is this one, 걷다. So yes, number 1, past. Number 2, is the following conjugation start with a vowel? 고 싶어요. 고 싶어요. Oh, it start with 고, which is kind of like G sound. 고 싶어요. Oh, this is not a vowel. This is consonant. So, 부부부, we are not going to change 디귿 to real. 디귿 to real. Does it make sense? So, 디샤, it should be 걷고 싶어요. 걷고 싶어요. Why? Because the following conjugation is this, right? Following conjugation start with 기역. This consonant sound. Consonant. Ooh! This is the exception. Exception can be confusing, of course, because it doesn't follow the regular rule. Susanoo, that's right, I understand. You know, as a Korean, I have to learn English. And I have to learn the exception too. For example, I learned, you can make past tense by putting ed. Like ed at the end. So verb plus ed makes the past tense. For example, exercised. Exercise is a present tense. And if you just put ed, if you just put d, then it becomes exercised. I see. That's so easy. And for example, I watch TV. What's the past tense? It's watched. You put ed. Okay, I got it. Past tense in English is so easy. So how about this? Eat. Yum, 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 eat. What is the past tense? Is eat it? No, it's ate. You see something. What is past tense? Is see it? No, it's saw. Even in English, you have to memorize it. And you get used to it so you don't feel it's difficult. Same for Korean. This is exception. So when you think with your brain, that's difficult. But when you keep saying that and your brain and your mouth, the muscle of your tongue remembers it, then without thinking, it will come out. So the only thing you have to do right now is practice. So naturally, when you use it, it comes out. None of Korean people will think this grammar rule. So when we make this grammar, we never think. It's just like this. We said this pattern so much, so our muscle just remembers and naturally say it. So that's same to you, and unfortunately, language is something like that. You need practice. You have to do it many, 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 many times. Okay. Let's practice a bit more. So how about this? 콩낭케. Both English, Korean are difficult for me. You are from Laos. Yeah. You are a language lover. You know English, you know Korean, and you know your native language. That's awesome. So I'm 100% sure each language has irregulars. Each language has exceptions. So yeah, you need practice. Rubina? Yes. We need practice. Let's practice a bit more. How about this? Let's practice the second verb. 깨닫다. Now I have this verb. 깨닫다. 깨닫다. And now I want to conjugate with 으세요. 으세요 or 세요. You have to choose. 으세요 or 세요. You have to choose. But how can you choose? If the verb stem ends with consonant, then you use 으세요. If the verb stem ends with vowel, then you are gonna use 세요 only. Let's see. What is the verb stem? Jade. 이것이 좋은 연습. Yes, this is good practice. What is the verb stem? Korean verb and adjective always end with 다. And remove 다 at the end, then that's the verb stem. Does it make sense? Like this. 걷다, 깨닫다, 듣다, 묻다, 씻다. Wow! All verb end with 다. Just remove 다. Then you only have 걷, 깨닫, 듣, 묻, 씻. So without 다, the left part is verb stem or adjective stem. That's the stem of the word. Stem. So when you conjugate it, we usually use stem only. Marijo, just remove that. Perfect. Yes, that's it. That's the important part. So okay. Now 깨닫. Do you see this? 깨닫. It ended with consonant, so we are going to use 으세요. Okay, so it's an irregular verb, so yes, it's past. Number 2, is the following conjugation start with a vowel? 으세요. Yes, It start with a vowel, so number 2, past. Number 3, change 디귿 to 리을. Change 디귿 to 리을. How can you change it? It ended with 디귿 here, right? 디귿. Remove. And then 따라라라라. So this is how you do. 깨달으세요. D sharp perfect. 로한, it should be 깨달으세요. Remove 다 because we only need to use the stem. 아나 깨달으세요. It should be 으세요. Why? 으세요. Why? Because 세요 is used for the verb stem that ends with vowel. But 깨달, it ended with a consonant sound. So we will be using 으세요, not 세요. Ooh. It can be confusing, right? But irregular verb, there are just 5 for 디귿 irregular verb. You know there are thousands of Korean verb, and for 디귿 irregular verb, there are only 5. Kiara, what about 어따 teacher? Let's practice. Thanks, Kiara for the example. 어따 is the amazing example. So 어따, what is now? 쿠시쿠마리 is 1:20 in Korea now. So in your country, the time is different, right? 코아티, I realized. Perfect. Awesome. Lyric. All verb in Korea who end is with 디귿 irregular verb? No. Let's see another example. 없다. 없다. And let's conjugate with 으세요. 얻다. 얻다 meaning to gain, to obtain. So you get something from someone. For example, in the game, you play the game and you get some item from your friends. 얻다, 얻다. You gain something, you obtain something, you get something. 얻다. Okay, so is it 디귿 irregular verb? Let's look at these steps. 디귿 irregular verb. 걷다? No. 깨닫다? No. 듣다? No. 묻다? No. 씻다? No. Oh, so this is not 디귿 irregular verb because it's not one of these verbs. So no, we are not using this rule. So when you want to conjugate it, you don't change this. If it's 디귿 irregular verb, you change 디귿 to 리을. But this one is not N-O-T. No, not irregular verb. So we will not change it. We just use the verb stem as it is. So how can you conjugate it? Remove 다. And just say 으세요. 얻으세요. Please obtain. Please obtain. Why do I use 으세요, not 세요? Because it ended with ended with 받침. This ended with consonant, right? Consonant. So we are using 으세요. If it ended with a vowel sound, then I was about to use 해요, but it ended with consonant sound, then I'm using 으세요. 으세요. 안나 perfect, 안다리 풀어, 오빠 힘대로. Perfect. And 말해줘요. How can you know if it's irregular? Irregular verb, 디귿 irregular verb, there are just five. There is actually some more, but those verbs are not common. So you only need to remember these 5. If it's 걷다, then it's 디귿 irregular verb. 깨닫다, 디귿 irregular verb. 듣다, 디귿 irregular verb. 묻다, 디귿 irregular verb. 씻다, irregular verb. If it's not this one of these, then it's regular verb. Want to practice a bit more? How about this? 믿다. 믿다 meaning to trust, to believe. 믿다. Regina. Yeah, I will review it later again. Yes, please review it. This is irregular, so it's difficult. Because it's an exception, you have to memorize different rule. Exception is difficult. Even in English too, right? So please review it. I already made the lesson notes, so you can find the explanation and you can practice. So please check out the link in the description. I already summarized everything. I already put more verbs. So please practice it. 믿다 meaning to believe and to trust. And now I want to conjugate with 으세요. 으세요 or 세요, but it ended with consonant, so I'll use 으세요. So how can I conjugate it? Remove 다 and that's it. 믿으세요. That's it. Oh, teacher, you said you have to change this 디귿 sound to 리을. Why didn't you change? Because it's not 디귿 irregular verb. This is just regular verb. So you just follow the regular sentence pattern, regular rule, regular grammar rule. But here, regular one. Here, this one is regular, but if it's one of these, then I was about to use this irregular rule. Does it make sense? 믿으세요 means please trust me or please believe him. I didn't put the person who you have to believe, so it depends. It depends on the situation, but please trust. Please trust. Please believe. Okay, great. Does it make sense? Disha, how about 받다? 받다. 받다. What does it mean? 받다 means to receive, to get. Do you want to conjugate it with 으세요? 받다. Is it 디귿 irregular verb? No, it's not one of these. Only 걷다, 깨닫다, 듣다, 묻다, 씹다 are irregular Korean verbs. So if it's other verb that end with 디귿, you don't follow this one. So it will be 받으세요. Let's practice irregular more. How about this? 듣다. 듣다. 듣다 meaning to listen or to hear. 으세요. 듣다. Okay, how can I conjugate it? Number one, is it a 디귿 irregular verb? Yes, it is because 듣다 is here. So I have to use this rule. Number two, is the following conjugation start with a vowel? Yes, it starts with a vowel sound. 으세요, 으세요. So, what should you do? You just use the verb stem. 드드세요? Nope. Since number 2 passed, now we are going to number 3. If yes, change 디귿 to 리을. So please listen, please hear is 들으세요. 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 Kim, perfect. 리안, 들으세요. 정미, yes, 으세요 is formal. And 푸아, we can use 받으세요 when greeting someone. 받으세요 means please receive, right? Please receive. Please receive. 받으세요 is used for 새해 복 많이 받으세요. It means Happy New Year. 들으세요. How about this? This time I want to use 묻다. 묻다. And then I want to conjugate with 고 싶어요. What does 고 싶어요 means? It means want to. Want to. And what does 묻다 mean? Is ask. So it literally means I want to ask. 침침. I want to ask. So how can you conjugate this? You need to use the verb stem always. Number 1. Is it a 디귿 irregular verb? 디귿 irregular verb? Yes. 묻다 is here. So yes, it's irregular verb. Irregular verb. Number 2. Is the following conjugation start with a vowel? 고 싶어요. 고 싶어요. It's not start with a vowel. 고 싶어요. 고 It start with consonant. This 고 싶어요 is kind of start with G sound. 고 싶어요. So since it's no, we are not changing to real. So 따라란, you use this verb stem directly. 묻고 싶어요. 묻고 싶어요. 묻고 싶어요. I want to ask. Prisha, awesome job, Pura, 오빠 힘내리, and Kim, Anna. How smart you are. Yes, that's right. Perfect. Let's practice this. 씻다. 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 This time, do you want to try different conjugation? We learned 으면. Remember? 으면. We already covered this grammar, so if you want to learn more about it, please check out the previous lesson. And 으면 means if or when. If or when. You use 으면 when the verb stem end with a consonant. If the verb stem end with a vowel, then you use 면 only. That's why I use this bracket, because it's optional. It's sometimes used and sometimes not. It depends on the verb stem. Okay, so let's practice. So what's the verb stem? Remove 다, then you have verb stem. So 쉿. Okay, so let's see this. Is it a 디귿 irregular verb? Yes, 씻다 is here. So 디귿 irregular verb. Past. Since it's past, we go to the step 2. Is the following conjugation start with a vowel? 쉿. Oh, here. 으면. Yes. Since it ended with 쉿. It ended with consonant sound, so I'm using 으면. 쉿으면, is that all? No, since it starts with a vowel here, I'm changing to 리을. Now, next step is changing 디귿 to 리을. So if you load some luggage, if you load some suitcase, if you load some books to truck, if you load, it's 싫으면. Net, you just say 싫으면. Nope, it's not 싫으면. It should be 싫으면. Why? Because this 으면, you can find more explanation about this verb, this conjugation, this grammar. It means if or when. There is two ways. 으면, 면. 으면 is used when the verb stem ends with a consonant. 면 is used when this verb stem ends with a vowel. 실. It was originally shit, right? It ended with what? Consonant. So we are using 으면. 면 is only used when the verb stem ended with vowel. Okay, let's practice one more then. How about this? 닫다. And start with 으면. 닫다. Okay, so I need verb stem to conjugate with this if. Check out previous lesson. If. What is the verb stem? Just remove 다. 닫으면. That's it. Why, teacher? You said change to 디귿 to 리을, and then it start with a vowel. So you have to use this conjugation start with 으면 vowel. So you have to use this rule, right? No. Why? Because this is not irregular verb. 디귿 irregular verb, there are only 5. 걷다, 깨닫다, 듣다, 묻다, 씻다. 닫다 is not here, so you don't use this rule. Does it make sense? Yes, that's why it's 닫으면. I'm using 으면 because 닫, it ended with consonant. Oh, Jenny, perfect. Not irregular, exactly. Only irregular verb, these 5 verbs use this rule. If it's other verb, then you don't use this rule. And you know what? Oh, 최메리안. Perfect. You are so smart. 안나 언니, you are so smart too. And 루비나, 으면 means if or when. 론, 닫다 is regular verb. Perfect. Yes. 루비나, 으면 means if. I already have the if lesson. I already did all the details, so I'm not covering all the details. Check out my previous lesson. But today, we'll focus on this. 정미, only 5 irregular verb? Yes, there's 5. That's it. There is some other verb. There are more, but they are not used commonly in daily life. So even though you learn those verbs, you are not going to use it. So just 5. Remember these 5 and your life will be so easy. And here's a tricky part. 따란, let's practice 묻다. 묻다 plus 으면. Do you know this? By the way, for beginners, it means if. 묻다. What is 묻다? 묻다 means to ask, but there is another meaning. To bury. So if you bury dead body to the tomb. Well, this is too dark topic. Okay, let's bury something else. You bury your jewelry to the ground because you want to find the jewelry 30 years later. Or you write the letter and you bury into the ground and you will open it later. So you bury. Lyric. Everyone said 물으면, but Kim, you got the answer. It's 묻으면. The answer is 묻으면. Why, teacher? You said 묻다 is irregular verb. Yes, I said 묻다 meaning to ask is irregular verb. But 묻다 meaning bury is not irregular verb. It's a regular verb. 과티. Does it make sense? So the answer is 묻으면 if you bury. So 묻다, the sound is the same, but 묻다 is different. So there are two different verbs. Not 묻다, 묻으면 if it means bury. Amazing. Perfect. Yes. So as Anna 언니 summarize, if bury is 묻으면. And then 묻다 meaning to ask plus 으면 again if. 묻다 meaning to ask. If you use this as meaning of ask, then it should be 물으면. Ooh. Yes. So please remember, if it means bury, that's a regular verb. If it's ask, 묻다, 물으면, that's irregular verb. So you have to remember. Derek, yes, I understand. Usually exceptions, irregulars are hard. Wellington headache. Please practice a lot. This is really important. I mean, to ask, to walk, to listen. You use this verb a lot in your daily life, right? In Korean too. Which is so common in Korea. So please remember. And Mahil, you are talking about the verb 쉽다, right? Meaning easy. The adjective 쉽다. This is 비읍 irregular verb, and I will cover in different time. Today, let's focus on 디귿 irregular verb only. Does it make sense? I understand it's not easy, so please practice a lot, and you can find the link in the description. I already put list of irregular verb and list of regular verb. You can find it. So how can you find it? If you click the link in the description, So if you click the link in the description, like this, you will find this blue button. This is now gray because now I'm clicking it. If you click it, you can download the lesson note. I already explained all the rules. You can find everything in this lesson note. And you can find the irregular verb and examples of regular verbs. So please check it out. The link in the description, and everything is free. You can rewatch this video in the link in the description too. So you can, while you are rewatching this video, you can also see the lesson note. That will be very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. Kim, I guessed it different meaning than different conjugation. Yes, that's right. So please check out the lesson note. It's so important, you know, the irregular verbs. So as Miss Hemi loves K-pop requested homework for you. Homework for you. So how can you do homework? Super Cajun. This is my Instagram. So if you do your homework and upload it on your Instagram story or post and tag me, if you don't tag me, I cannot see that. So if you tag my ID, then I will repost your story with correction, or I will leave a comment there. So by the way, I'm getting a lot of DM direct messages, so I'm really sorry, but I cannot answer them all. Seriously. Once I tried to answer them all and it took 3 hours. 3 hours. So it's like, I realize it's impossible to answer all of you, and I'm really sorry. So I will only answer this. If you tag me on story or if you tag me on your post, then I got the notification on my phone so I can answer you. For DM, I'm getting so many every single day, so I'm really sorry, but I cannot answer that. So, Kiara, a lot of people also ask me like WhatsApp stuff, but I don't have that. So I only use the Instagram. So this. So what is the homework? So today I'm giving you two verbs. 듣다, 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 meaning to listen or to hear. And another verb that I have for you is 쏟다, 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 meaning to spill or to pour. You pour water or you spill water, spill milk by mistake. 쏟다 or pour or spill. So it means listen, pour or spill. Please conjugate this verb with 으세요. 으세요 meaning to do please. So I want to make please listen and please pour, please spill, please, please, please. So if you can conjugate it and tag me on Instagram story or Instagram post, then I will answer that and give you the correction. And also for the people who don't have Instagram, please just do it on the YouTube comment or Facebook comment later. And Jeff, thanks for the lesson. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Jeff, for your donation. That motivates me so much. Thank you so much. And if you want to do, please do homework. So thank you very much. And please review it. This is very, very important. So I'll see you next week. Pura, Kim, Disha, Andrea, Park-jimin. And also on Facebook too, we have lots of comments. Anna 언니 and Charmaine, not Nicha, Mayjoy, Lone Echo, Ecleo, Jerick, and Sarah. Okay, so thank you very much, and I'll see you next week with 침침. 안녕. 다음 시간에 봐요. 안녕.